Hi, and welcome to your next yoga class. I am Lizzie of LizzieKingYoga.com and also can be found at Lizzie King Yoga on YouTube. If you happen to like the videos and meditations that I am putting out for you, all as free content, please take a moment to like, subscribe, or comment below so that way I know you're enjoying it and so that way I know what I can keep giving you and that you need. Today we are moving into a nice slow flow. There will still be a standing series. There will still be some postures that are typical and foundational in most yoga practices, but we're just going to take our time arriving, removing the tension within the body. It's for when we really just don't feel like moving, but we know we have to do that movement. So go ahead, grab what you need, unroll the yoga mat, and we'll meet back here. So today we're going to start in child's pose. So go ahead and bring the shins down to the mat, untuck the toes, bring the sits bones onto the heels. I personally like to take a nice wide leg child's pose. I have really tight hips and hip flexors, so it's hard for me to surrender and fold into and over the legs. So I like to spread my legs out nice and wide, bringing the knees out to the outside edge of the mat. Take a deep inhale, then as you exhale, walk the hands out, falling and surrendering in between the legs, drawing the torso down to the mat, the forehead down to the mat, stretching the arms out overhead. You can plug the fingers into the mat if that feels okay. And let's just take this time in this child's pose to bring your awareness to your breath. Without judgment, without changing anything. Start to bring your awareness to your inhales and your exhales. Maybe you take note of how shallow the breath is. Maybe you take note of how deep the breath is. Maybe you've got a lot of tension today, so when that breath expands the chest, it feels tight. And with every exhale, can you start to surrender a little bit more into this practice today? Can you start to release yourself from what you know about your practice so far, everything about your yoga practice to this moment? Can you start to surrender into this complete present moment? Releasing what you've learned so far about yourself when you practice, whether it's physical, mental, or emotional. And just fully surrender into how you feel right now, what sensations you're feeling right now, what your breath is like right now, what you're thinking right now. Let go of everything else and just be here right now. Starting to recognize what you need and how you need it. And using this practice to take what you need and how you need it. Bringing the hands underneath the shoulders. Inhale to push the body up, lift the chin, lift the chest. Come to sit back on the heels. Moving into a bit of a flow to open up the front side of the body. Just take it for what it is. Don't force anything. Don't push anything. We're still warming up. We're going to move with our breath. So we'll inhale to rise up onto the shins, lifting the heart. Exhale, connect the hands to the ground. You can set the shins back. Inhale, lift the heart. Open up to the front body. Lift the hips. And then exhale to fold into that child's pose. Take a variation of the child's pose. So we just need to reach out in front of us and find length. We don't necessarily need to come all the way onto the ground. Your breath, your movement. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, connect behind you. Inhale, lift up, open up through the chest. Exhale, hinge and fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale, reach behind. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, fold. Move with your own breath. With every exhale into that child's, can you reach out in front of you a little bit more? Can you start to find wide open breaths? Move through 2 more rounds. And then when you're finishing up, meet on our shins, glutes down to the heels. So for this next breath we're going to find, you have the option to tuck the toes and come onto the heels to open up through the bottom of the feet, or you can start and move back down to the tops of the feet if this becomes a little bit too much. We are moving into a cat-cow variation. We're going to keep our chin level, keeping it parallel to the earth beneath us. As we inhale, we'll open up the heart, we'll pull the shoulders back, pull the arms back, and as we exhale, we'll round through the lumbar spine. Inhale, pull it forward. Really find that arch. Exhale, dome it out. Try to keep the chin level here. I know we get into the thoracic spine just a bit, but try to resist that urge to tuck the chin and lift the chin. Keep it level with the earth beneath you. Use the lumbar spine and the core to help you find this posture. Again, you can release the feet if it starts to be too much. You can pick up the pace of the breath if that feels good. Two more rounds of breath here. And then as you exhale, release the hands down to the mat, spread the fingers nice and wide, plug the pads in. Release the legs back. You can pitter-patter the feet out here if that feels good. And then tuck the toes. Release the heels down to the earth as you send the hips up, downward facing dog. Take a few breaths here to just do what feels good to you. So maybe you swing the hips side to side. Maybe you pedal the feet out. Maybe you bend the knees so deep. And then as you start to settle into your downward facing dog, glance up towards the thighs. Keep the shoulders externally rotating here. Keep the spine long down to the tailbone. Keep the sits bones and the hips reaching up towards the ceiling. Let the head hang heavy. And then inhale to roll forward, tucking the chin into the chest like a wave to your high plank, and then extending that gaze out between the hands, out in front. Lower down onto the knees. Untuck the toes. Exhale, lower all the way down onto your mat. Bring the elbow under the shoulder. Extend the hands out in front of you. Push the tops of the feet into the mat. As you inhale, pull the crown up and forward, finding length through the spine. As you exhale, release. Inhale, pull the chest forward, pull that crown up. It's almost like you're pulling the crown towards where the ceiling and the wall meet in front of you. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, open up your heart. Really pull the chest out from the shoulders here. Keep the triceps pulling back behind you. Exhale, let it go. Move with your breath a few times. Inhaling to open up your heart and rise. Exhaling to fold and release. And then hand slide back underneath the shoulders, tuck the toes, lift the knees. You can do knees on the mat to push up, or you can keep the knees lifted to push up through your high plank. And then exhale to your downward facing dog. From here, inhale, lift the right leg. Feel that glute turn on. Exhale as you draw the knee towards the nose and step it up to meet the hands. So it's in between the hands or about there. Left knee comes down, left toes untuck. Inhale to lift your chest, and as you do, inhale the arms up to frame the ears too. Start to turn those pinkies in. Shoulders relax away from the ears, shoulder blades pull together behind you. Even though we're dropping the pelvis here in this low lunge, we still have our belly active. Deep inhale here. Exhale, release the hands down to frame the foot. Left hand will stay, right arm will blow up and open for your twist. Gaze goes up to that right hand. Take a deep inhale here. Exhale to bring it back down. Tuck the back toes, lift the back knee, and then step the right foot back to meet the left in your downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg lifts. Feel the glute engage. Flex the toes down towards the floor. Exhale, knee to nose to step the foot between the hands. Right knee comes down, right toes untuck. Inhale to rise, Anjaneyasana. Take a deep inhale here. Exhale, bring both hands down. Right hand stays, left arm blows up and open. Find and fit your twist. Using this twist to physically twist from the hips through the spine. Using it to emotionally and mentally just let go. Wringing ourselves out. Again, surrendering. Exhale, unwind. Tuck the back toes. Lift the back knee. Step that left foot back to meet the right. Take a deep inhale here. Open the mouth side out, let it go. Deep inhale here. As you open the mouth and side out, can you release the heels down to the earth a little bit more? One more time. Gaze towards the hands on your inhale. On your exhale, step the right foot to the outside edge of the right hand. Left foot follows to the outside edge of the left hand. Sits bones go down towards the earth as the chest and heart lift. Hands at heart center, Malasana, yogi squat. Spine is long here. Finding that release into the hips, which again is a difficult place of the body to find that releasing because sometimes it makes us feel emotional. And again, today we're surrendering. So we're using these open hips or this practice to open our hips to let some things go. Again, to release the expectations, to release all that we think we know so far, and to just get into our current feelings and our current needs and our current desires of how we do things or how we move through things or how we relate. It brings on discomfort, but at the edge of our comfort zone is where we grow. When we weed through that discomfort, we sift through it and we find the root and we get comfortable. Getting comfortable in the discomfort is how we prevent ourselves from sweeping those things under the rug. It's how we look at things head on and how we find the source of what brings us that true joy. And how we start to relieve ourselves of the things that don't help us, the things that don't serve us, the things that hold us back. Take one deep inhale here. Exhale as you release the hands down to the mat. Take your time. That was a long time to hold those hips open. Push into the mat. Extend the hips up. Find yourself in a forward fold at the top of your mat. You can heel toe the feet in so they're about hip distance apart, or you can keep it nice and wide. Take a moment here to inhale, lift halfway. Pull the belly in towards the spine. Maintain that hollowed out feel in that belly, keeping the belly pulling in as you fold back over the thighs, and then exhale, let it go. Bend into the knees as deep as you need to here, bringing the hips over the ankles. letting the crown fall heavy towards the earth beneath you. Maybe you rock side to side. Maybe you grab opposite elbows. Maybe you interlace the fingers behind the head, just above the neck. And then slower than you want to go. Release the hands down to the earth if they're not already there. Root down into the feet, bend into the knees as much as you need to, and inhale to rise. Let the crown stay falling heavy, pulling down towards the earth for now. And then your head, shoulders and ears will come up last. Take a few rounds of breath here to roll the shoulders up into the ears, then draw them behind you, pull the shoulder blades together. Inhale, scrunch it up so tight. Exhale, release it down. Release it down. Let the hands fall heavy to help you guide those shoulders down. And then after your next exhale, find stillness. Bend into the knees. Find that stability with the feet on the earth. Pull the belly into the spine a bit. Sit up nice and tall through the hips, through the spine, through the shoulders, through the crown. And then we'll close the eyes and just take a few moments here. Observe. Observe how you're feeling. Observe if the ego has started to get involved, if negative thoughts, negative self-talk have started to get involved. Surrender into them, so don't resist them here. Don't sweep it under the rug. Don't push it off to the side. Surrender into it. Let it come on board a moment. Let it just do what it needs to do. Let it quit pushing to get in and just let it in. And then take a deep inhale. And exhale, open the mouth. Let it all go. So we let it in. We open the door. It's not pounding on our door anymore. We said, what do you want? And now we exhale and we let that go. Moving into some neck circles here. The eyes can stay closed. Left ear starts to turn towards the left shoulder. Chin starts to turn towards that left shoulder. And then as we inhale, we lift the nose like we're tracing a circle in the sky. As we exhale, the right ear comes down to the right shoulder. That chin starts to tuck into the chest. Inhale, lift up. Completing the circle. Exhale, right ear to the right shoulder. Chin tucks into the chest. Left ear, left shoulder. Inhale, rise. Exhale, fold. Keeping in mind that we're keeping the shoulders relaxed away from the ears while we find these neck circles. And then pausing. Take an inhale to exhale to reset and take it in the opposite direction. We're still inhaling up like the sunrise and exhaling down as the sun falls. Creating that circle with our nose like we're tracing it into the air. Take one more inhale here. Stay for your exhale as you finish out that circle. Draw the head back through center. Reach up as you inhale and then exhale to forward fold. Inhale to halfway lift. Lift the chest and the heart parallel to the earth beneath you. Exhale, fold, bend into the knees. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Release the hands down through heart center. Samastitihi. Root down into the right foot. Grip down with the right toes if you have to. Start to bend into the left knee, coming up onto the left toes, and then sweep that left foot back, stepping it long behind you, feeling that heel lift, and then we'll lower the heel down to the earth. Turn that foot out to the knife side edge of the mat, setting up for warrior two. Glance down at the front knee. Knee is over the ankle. Just make sure it doesn't pass that ankle, so it can be slightly behind it or over it. We've got that 90-degree angle. And then if you can look at both the feet, you will see that the front heel and the back instep are in alignment. Take a moment to feel your hips. So both hips are squaring to this wall in front of you. From there, you'll pull the belly into the spine. You'll extend the arms straight out from the shoulders. You keep the belly pulling in here as you feel that chest expand open. And then gaze goes over the front middle finger. Warrior two, Virabhadrasana 2. As you inhale, reach up, flip the palm, humble or peaceful warrior. Right arm reaches up towards the ceiling, up and overhead. Right shoulder pulls back. Gaze goes up towards the ceiling. Also, left hand can just come down the leg. Feeling that whole side body open up here. Surrender into that. Deep inhales and exhales through the nose. Feeling the ribs pull away from one another. Deep inhale here. Exhale, open back up, warrior two. Set up that foundation from the toes and the heels, up the legs, up the belly, up to the chest, your strong shoulders. Deep inhale here. Exhale to windmill the arms down. Pause here in your runner's lunge. Both hands are framing that front foot. Push into the mat for strength. Root down into the back toes. Step back, find your high plank. You can come down onto the knees here, or we'll shift forward 2 inches. Exhale through your chaturanga. Elbows hug into the ribs to 90 degrees. Inhale your heart forward. Tops of the feet press into the mat. Spine is long. And then exhale to your downward facing dog. Inhale, gaze towards the hands. Exhale, step the feet to meet the hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, bend into the knees, reverse swan dive, sweep the arms up. Exhale, release the hands down through heart center. Root down into the left foot. Grip down with the left toes if you need to. Right knee bends, right toes root down into the earth as the right heel lifts, and then sweep that right foot back. Find that pivot of the foot, set up for warrior two on the other side. So we're looking down, we've got our foundation set up. Legs are energetically pulling towards one another. Hips are squaring off to that side wall. Belly pulls in, heart expands, gaze over the front fingers. Take a moment to find that inner strength. Tap into how you feel here. Tap into what's going on here in this moment, not how you know it to have been yesterday, not that warrior two you did a year ago, but right here, right now. How's it feel? As we inhale, we reach up and over peaceful warrior. Use your breath here, deep inhales and exhales through the nose as you start to feel that opening from your hip to your fingertips. Inhale here. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale and exhale to windmill down. We're moving through our vinyasa, or you can step back to down dog. You always have the option to find your knees for your chaturangas, or to lower the belly all the way down to lift your heart. Find that deep inhale here. And as you exhale, can you lower the heels down to the earth a little bit more? Deep inhale. Exhale, push into the pads of the fingers, reach the heels back, reach the hips up, gaze up towards the thighs. Inhale, look towards the hands, and then exhale to step the feet to meet the hands. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, release the hands down. We're going to move into tree pose. So we're going to lift our right toes, spread them wide, place them back down nice and wide. Left foot can come to the inside of the ankle with the left toes on the mat for stability, the inside of the calf, or you can reach down and bring it all the way up into the inside of the thigh. Wherever you are going with this, keep that left knee opening up through the hips. Keep the belly pulling into the spine. Use your core for your strength. Find a non-moving object in front of you to focus your attention on for your drishti point. And surrender into this moment. Surrender into the strength it takes, the balance, maybe a little discomfort, the self-doubt that you may be feeling, grounding down with those right toes, that right foot, releasing all that you know when you think about how you feel in this pose and just feeling right here, right now. And then exhale to release that left foot down, shake it out. Set that left foot behind you and then over to the right, finding a bit of a curtsy lunge here. And then with control, we'll lower all the way down, keeping that curtsy lunge as we bend into the knees and come down onto the mat, all the way down with our sits bones on the mat. So we've already set up our legs here for our half Lord of the Fishes pose for that twist. So if you kind of got a little wonky, you've got the right knee bent, you've got that right foot over that left thigh, and then you've got the left knee bent with the left heel into the sits bones. Right hand comes behind the low back along the sacrum. Inhale, reach that left hand up towards the ceiling. Exhale to hook it onto the thigh and twist to the right. Gaze goes back behind you, spine stays long. Can you inhale to reach the crown towards the ceiling, and can you exhale to twist a little bit deeper? Finding comfort in the discomfort. Take a deep inhale here. And then exhale to slowly, with control, release back through. Finding yourself with those hands on the knees, roll over to reach the hands out in front of you. Keeping the feet where they are, tuck the toes, push into the toes, stand back up. You're moving back through that curtsy. And then release the left foot back to meet the right at the top of your mat. Shake it out if you need to. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Take a few breaths here. Shifting the weight into the balls of the feet, bringing the hips over the ankles. Maybe you shake the head yes, maybe you shake it no. Physically letting go of a little bit more right through the crown of the head there. Then release the hands, bend into the knees. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, release the hands down through heart center. Tree on the other side. So left foot's gonna ground into the mat. You'll take that right foot, again, to the inside of the ankle, the calf, or the thigh. Maybe it's different on each side. Sometimes we have a stronger leg. Sometimes you've had a past injury. It's all good. Just honor, again, where you are right now in this moment. And maybe you start to close the eyes, releasing a little bit more control. Find those long inhales and exhales through the nose. You start to open up that right knee a little bit more, opening up to the hips. Then nice and slow with control, use your exhale to release the right foot down. The top of your mat, all 10 toes point forward. As you sweep the right foot behind and over to the left. Finding that half Lord of the Fishes on the other side, you move through your curtsy, bending into the knees, drawing the sits bones all the way down onto the mat. Left hand comes behind the back. Inhale, right arm reaches up nice and tall. And then exhale to hook it to the outside of that thigh. Twisting towards the left, shifting your gaze behind you. If you're feeling like you can twist a little bit deeper, you can walk those fingertips to the left behind you. Shifting the gaze. Pulling the left shoulder out of the ear, relaxing it down. Take a deep inhale here. And exhale nice and slow to release rather than pushing up through our curtsy to our standing posture. We're going to release those legs out long in front of us. You can remove the flesh from the sits bones. Flex the toes up towards the face. Inhale for length. And then exhale to fold. So maintain that nice long spine as you fold. Reaching wherever your hands may fall. So that can be around the feet, the toes, the heels. Maybe it's the ankles. Maybe it's just the shins. Keeping your heart opening up towards the toes. So rather than rounding our spine or our back and just kind of falling over the legs, I want us to remain active. I want us to keep that spine long so you can get deeper into the entire backside of the legs here, the low body, rather than just kind of finding that stretch to the low back. So by releasing tension within the hamstrings, by releasing tension within the calves, by releasing tension that sits in our glutes, we do good for that low back rather than pulling on the low back to find that stretch. It's all one working piece. So as we start to release our tension through the hips and the glutes and the pelvis, we start to release any tension that lives in that low back. And we create strength to cradle that low back to keep it safe. Inhale to rise up all the way. And then as you exhale, nice and slow with control, engaging the core, keeping the spine long, lower all the way down onto your back. Once you arrive, bend both knees into the chest. Reach around with your hands to the outside edges of your feet. Draw the soles and the heels together. And then extend the legs with the knees bent for happy baby. Soles of the feet are reaching up towards the ceiling like you're going to walk on the ceiling. Knees are headed to the armpits, but no big deal if they don't get there. Spread the legs out nice and wide. Maybe you rock side to side. Then if you'd like to, you can fully extend the legs here if you can keep that grip and if that feels good. Start to release any controlled breathing. And then draw the knees back into the chest. Exhale to release the legs down. Let's set up for our final posture, Shavasana. So slightly tuck the chin into the chest here to find length through the cervical spine. Let the feet and arms and hands splay open. Remove any tension between the temples. Relax the tongue from the roof of the mouth. Relax the jaw if it's clenched. Allow your shoulders, your hips, your ankles, and the backs of your hands to fall heavy into the earth. And if thoughts arise and the ego arises, acknowledge and dismiss. This is your time here. We'll be here for about a minute. If you'd like to stay here and continue with your Shavasana, you are welcome to it. Otherwise, we'll start to reach the arms up overhead. Bending into the knees and then rolling over onto our side. Taking a moment to let that top hand lower down to the earth. Grounding into the earth, feeling the positive vibrations emitting up from the earth into you. Take this moment to send yourself gratitude for showing up today. Giving yourself this time, this self-care, this love. We're working towards the best you that you can be for yourself and no one else. Keeping the eyes closed, push yourself up into a comfortable seated position. Take this moment to sweep the arms up all overhead. Gather the ability to let go that you created here. Draw that down through your third eye, connected to your heart space. Touch the thumbs to your heart center. Thank you for spending time with me here on your mat and allowing me to guide you in your practice. The light in me honors, loves, and appreciates the light in you. Namaste. As always, thank you for joining me. Please enjoy the rest of your day.